Well, hello again everyone. I want to look at the interior of number 604 and just explain some of the arrangements which made this essentially the first modern bus, being a 44-seater, all seats facing forward as you can see, and with driver control of the entrance, and the engine under the floor, which is the essence of the 1950s bus, and built in their thousands and millions probably. So the seats have all been installed. The seat backs, fortunately, were in quite good condition, which you can see. So they have simply been cleaned, and the leather has been wax has been put onto the leather. It'll be re-waxed again. We still have the bell pushers to fit, and that's where the wiring for them is, and you'll see it elsewhere. And some of the lamps work, but there's some of the electrics still to finish. Now, if we turn our attention to the floor, you'll see why these vehicles were successful in getting 44 forward-facing seats. And the problem always with bus seats was the wheel arches where the above the wheels at the front and the back. And this was solved by Northern General on most of their single-deckers by, as you can see, having a gangway, and you stepped up by this amount onto the seat. So that by doing this, you therefore lost 3 or 4 inches of the wheel arch intrusion. You can see here how the step up into the seat reduces the size of the height of the wheel arch intrusion. In fact, you can sit there perfectly well with your feet slightly elevated, but it's perfectly acceptable. And this was one of the main problems with the AEC Q type. And a reminder that this chassis of this was built to Q patents, and the wheel arch intrusion was much larger than this. In fact, it meant horizontal seats, which are never very satisfactory on a bus, and even more so on a coach, and rather led to the downfall of the innovative design of the Q type, and why this was relatively successful. The engine had to be accommodated, and this was the big problem with the AEC-Q, and to some extent with the Northern SE series. The original engine was a rather compact American engine, petrol engine, and these buses were then converted from the petrol engine to a diesel engine in the 1940s. Now, even though the engine was tilted, and a special model of the AEC engine was made as in tilted form, even so it was taller. So the panel above the engine had to be extended another few inches, and you can see this is the engine cover, which is this. It's not actually in place, but that's the height of it, with an extra extension, but still it was adequate and met constructions and use regulations once that was actually in place over the engine. But that was only the 2 seats, this seat and the following seat, which had the reduced floor space because of the extra height, because of the conversion to diesel engine. And of course they ran like that for the rest of their lives. Nearly all of them managing 20 years, full 20 years in service. As you can see, the seat backs the maquette was in quite decent condition. It lost some of the colours, the Art Deco colours, basically these are 1934, these are the original seats, but the seat cushion obviously took more wear and are worn, the maquette is worn. However, the costs of having this reproduced, even if they have the patterns, which is unlikely for 1934, we had to make do with these, should we say, well-worn seat cushions, and we've had to change all the leather here had perished, in fact, with the constant movement of people on and off them, and they've all been replaced by upholsterers in leather cloth, appropriately coloured, we hope. There is another feature an odd feature which I'd like to show you, is that it's a decorative item, that this little brass rail running right away around the seat and along the back, which you can see perhaps on another one. This is very odd, but it must be a 1930s fashion feature, because our little Bedford, one of the first Bedfords we have, a duple-bodied Bedford of 1931, again has exactly the same type of little brass moulding running along the tops of the seats, so it must have been a fashion, early 1930s fashion. Just a quick view of the rear of the bus, and this is the offside with the registration number, which you can see, and incidentally that was illuminated from inside by the normal lights of the bus. Another peculiarity of the time was that this here, it's not in place, but you can see the gap, was the rear light, and that's a single rear light they were built with, and that's all they had. No stop lights, no trafficators or anything, a single rear light. And that's, as you can see, the lamp holder is there, so the inside, the light will shine actually inside. It shines both ways. And that's a feature tend to be a feature of 1930s vehicles. And of course you then have the emergency exit, which you can see the door is open at the moment. And we've still got to wire the rear destination box up.